Okay, welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well out there, looking after yourselves. This is the job today. Big driveway clean. Check that out. Right, I've done a few big ones, so I'm just hoping I can get this done in the day. This is to be cleaned and sealant applied afterwards. The customer wants sealant. So I don't know if you can see this, they've already been across with a wire brush, this whole section here. You can see there's less moss between the gaps. Yeah, you can see a bit of a contrast there. So anyway, it's got a nice slope to it, so sometimes that can help things along. Should be a good transformation. Hopefully it will come up quite red. Anyway, we better crack on. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so progress report is going well. It's coming up quite red, so you'll be able to see more easily when I rinse all this muck away. But yeah, it's a good transformation. The slight snag I'm having is the tap is running quite slow, so I'm having to stop like every about 20 minutes or so, wait for the bin to fill up before I can then carry on working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this section along the top, and then I'm going to run the customer's hose as well. I've got an adapter so I can run 2 hoses off the same tap. That will help improve the flow slightly, so that might just help things along a bit. It's not terrible, the pressure, but yeah, I am having to stop quite regularly to do it. There are some areas here where it's really bad. I can see through the muck there are just some black spots a little bit, but yeah, I'll treat it afterwards with the chemical. Once I've rinsed the muck, I'll treat it with a chemical. I might go over some bits again. So I like to take care of it in long sections, you see, like this. I figure if I can go at a constant steady speed more consistently, I ultimately get through the day more quickly, or through the job more quickly. You know, it's better that way rather than doing little sections at a time, back and forth with the flat surface cleaner. So I think if you can do long sections, keep going at a constant steady pace, that's ultimately just a little bit quicker. It's marginal gains. So yeah, we'll keep at it, and we're getting there. pleased with that on the whole. It's turned out pretty good. Yeah, it's looking great. Just a couple of little issues as I'm rinsing. I'm realising there's a puddle down in this corner. It's difficult to get rid of. That's a pain. Just up this side is where there's the worst of the black spots. Just a little bit of black spots up here. Probably this area sits the most damp when it rains. Probably sits damp the longest along there by the hedge. So I'm just going to put some chemical across it now, put hypo on, and then I might go over some of these areas again. One thing here, check this out, one block that is different. That's a shame. Just one. Why does it have to be right in the middle? So here we are, back at the driveway. Can't wait to see it dried out. Look at that. Transformed it really. Looks awesome. So I sort of stopped filming before the end of the day yesterday. The customer actually started coming out and helping me. He already emailed me before the job and said that he was concerned about the drains, especially down by the garage. The drain goes off into the back garden. There's a manhole cover. So he literally lifted up the manhole cover and was checking if any muck was going down in the manhole. And that's why he'd started scraping out some moss from between the blocks in that bottom section, if you remember, before we started. So yeah, I started going over this section down the bottom again, but then I ended up going over the whole driveway again with the flat surface cleaner, just to make sure I got it as clean as I possibly could. And some sections then I went over with the turbo as well, especially down this side, just to get rid of the last of those black spots. I try not to use the turbo too much on a block paving job because it disturbs the sand a bit deeper, and then when it comes to resanding that we're doing today, you end up having to replace more sand. You want to get the result, the best result you can, and then really lock in that clean result that you've achieved with the sealant. Not that I don't usually try and get a good result, I always try and get the best result I can, but you know what I mean. So yeah, he came out and helped me clear out the drains. I was trying to sweep up as much of the muck as I could before it got to the drains as well, but because he'd already emailed me, I made sure I brought my gutter vac, and so we vacuumed out any sort of sand and silt that was ending up in the drains. So that was all good anyway. So it's kind of nice to work with the customer who's helping me out. We were working together. So there we go. Anyway, we'll get this sand done today. I think they're going out at some point. But we've had a good supply of tea so far as well. That always helps. There we go. I'm glad it's not too sunny today. It's nice and overcast. It's quite warm, but it's warm work doing all that sand. But it finishes it off nicely. I love the finish. And what a transformation. Absolutely transforms the place. It comes all the way back here, all the way from back here. And there we go. Down the side here. It all looks really good. Around in front of the garage. This area here where it's a bit sort of muddy residue from that puddle loosens that off, so it looks okay. Looks a lot better now. And moving around here, look at that from this side. Absolutely brilliant. Now the next task is to apply the sealant. So what I'm going to do today is spray the sealant. I usually like to apply it with a roller, but it's such a big area that I'm going to use the spray and make sure I apply a generous amount. You don't want it to be running off the surface, but you want a nice coating on so that it soaks into the surface. I'm going to do 2 coats to make sure I get a nice thorough coverage, get that nice seal on the top, and try and preserve this driveway nice and clean for as long as possible. What the sealant does is it helps water run off the surface instead of through the surface and disturbing the foundation, the sand underneath, which then causes the blocks to move and distort. So yeah, the sealant will encourage water to run off into the drainage areas, protecting the life, extending the life of the driveway. So we better crack on with that. Sun's come out. How about that? Brilliant. First coat's gone on really well. I've left it a good hour and a half. Now I'm going to do the second coat, and in this time I'm going to go in the opposite direction, help make it a nice even coat, and yeah, that'll just finish it off nicely. So all done, 2 coats of sealant, looks brilliant. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. Always a bit daunting when I'm faced with a big job like this, you know, how's it going to go? Is it going to turn into a nightmare? But yeah, it went all right, so I'm really pleased. when you get to the end, the satisfaction factor is really good, especially when it turns out so well as this one. So over the moon with that. It's a shame as well, now the sun's out, it kind of ruins my before and after shots a little bit, but I did get some good pictures of the result before I applied the sealant, so you can really see the contrast of what it looked like before and what it looked like once it was all cleaned up. So at least I got those pictures, which look really good. Next door neighbours came out and had a look and said they were really impressed, so they took my number as well. So all good all round. Hope you enjoyed the transformation, and catch you on the next one. Take care, all the best for now, see you soon.